Okay, in this presentation, me and Joachim is going to talk about Mexico, violence and corruption. I'm going to talk about the Mexican drug war, and Joachim is going to talk about the corruption.
To read the Mexican papers these last weeks have been like a study in corruption. There are corruption going on everywhere, at every time, at every party, and at every level of the government. The government and the police are taking bribes from the drug lords and the drug cartels to help cover their traces. However, Mexico has dropped from place 57 to 105 on the international corruption ranking in only 10 years. But it seems like it's more corruption now than ever in Mexico. The most likely explanation to this is that the Mexicans have become much better at hiding their corruption. The latest news here from Mexico is about the 43 students that disappeared last September. Mr. Jesus Murillo Caram, the Attorney General in Mexico, says he can prove that the students now are dead. One of the students' DNA was identified laying in a mass grave. Mr. Murillo Caram insists that the students were killed and burned by the drug gangs. The government has now decided to close the case, and this has not been well appreciated by friends and family, and there has been major demonstrations.
The Mexican drug war, which is approaching its 8th anniversary in December, has spawned 2 Mexican presidential administrations and resulted in the arrest or death of several high-ranking drug trafficking figures. Despite some success like the February capture of the infamous Chapo Guzman, the war has resulted in horrific death toll and erosion of civil liberties and basic public safety in large parts of the country. October has brought a wave of drug war news. Some of it has been positive. 3 major trafficking figures have been arrested since October the 1st, including the heads of Gulf and Juarez cartels and the founder of Beltran Lavilla organization. The drug war, originally launched by the former president Felipe Calderon, has first undertaken using a kingpin strategy that aimed at severing the head of each of the cartels operating in the country. Backed with mass deployment of Mexican military, the country's worst travel points. Both efforts has been profound effect upon the Mexican society. At least 60,000 people died between 2006 and 2012. As a result of the war, pitted against the various crimes enterprises against the Mexican army and constellation of vigilante groups as well as each other. Calderon's successor, President Peña Nieto, promised that he would reform the drug war when he took the office. Instead of focusing on arresting the heads of the cartel, Nieto said he would undertake a general policy of combating crime and enforcing rule of law.
That's the latest news here from Mexico. I hope I see you next week on BBC News.